I'm Andrew Joseph Keith. I'm an artist and sculptor and online instructor. One of the most common questions that I get asked is, how do you make money as a sculptor? Basically, once I figure that out, I'll let you know. Once I figure out how to make money on sculpture, you'll be the first to know. So I haven't really felt comfortable answering that question, but you know what we do. When we don't know the answers, we used to Google it, now we go to Chatgpt. So I asked Chatgpt how to make money, business side of sculpture, how to sell your art online. We're gonna go over that. I'm gonna talk and give you my thoughts of the feedback that it gave me. So if you're interested in that, let's get into it. It says you want to turn your passion for sculpting into a business. Today I'm going to share how I sell sculptures online, or how Chatgpt recommends that you sell sculptures, plus tips on pricing, marketing, finding collectors. Let's get into it. So number one is choose the right platform. First, where do you sell your art? Etsy, Instagram, your own website. Here's my experience. They want you to edit it, so this isn't exactly my experience, but these are three options that it gives. It says Etsy is great for reaching art collectors, but there are listing fees, so you focus on SEO and great photos. So SEO is search engine optimization, if I remember correctly. Photographing is really important in sculpture especially. The lighting can make a huge difference. In fact, I'd like to do a video on how to light a sculpture. If you're interested in that, comment below if you'd like some tips on lighting. You really do want to put your sculpture in its best light, obviously, and the lighting makes a huge difference in how we perceive a visual work of art. So I agree that photo is really important for selling anything online. Instagram, ideal for building an audience. Use reels and hashtags to show your process. Instagram was a huge tool for me to just learn sculpting in general. I made a commitment on Instagram when I first started sculpting that I would post regularly, and that meant that I'd be posting every day, so that meant I had to create regularly. I had to take pictures, I had to create something new, and it was just a way for me to commit to creating something and sharing it online. And I didn't want to just share something, I wanted to share things that were actually well done, well made. And so Instagram was a big help for me with regards to consistency. So I do recommend having a platform that you can share your work regularly on. And that's a way to kind of self-motivate, which you have to be able to do as an artist. The other option is your own website, best for full control, but you need to drive traffic with SEO and email marketing. Building an email list is something that I definitely recommend. It's something that I've kind of fallen out of the habit of. I need to get back into actively building my email list. But building an email list by offering something for free, whether it's a video or just something that your ideal customer would be interested in. So maybe it's like how to choose a great work of art, or how to choose a sculptor for commission projects, or how to commission a great sculpture or something like that. Whatever your ideal customer would be interested in, you give them something and you offer it for free just in exchange for their email. And then you start building out an email address list. And with that, you're able to email market and send messages and basically create a group of people that you can reach out directly to. From what I've heard, that's still one of the best ways to market anything online. I would probably add to this list YouTube, starting a YouTube channel. That's just something that I've done. It's helpful for people to see that you can communicate and to see your work, even if it's just like time lapses of you creating your work. But documentation is more and more a part of being an artist nowadays. It's just what it is. So I would also add YouTube as a way to potentially sell your stuff. That's how I market most of the things that I sell. The courses that I sell is primarily on YouTube through the Proco 3D YouTube channel, where I offer all the free lessons from the courses, and then through this, my personal channel. So that's probably one platform I would add to this list. It says, pro tip, list on multiple platforms, but make your website the main hub for sales. I also really like Gumroad. I've kind of moved my stuff over there I had some stuff on Patreon, but I'm trying to move over to Gumroad to sell my ebook, An Artist's X-Ray Vision, the male figure and the female figure, those ebooks. I've moved to Gumroad. I had another website, but it was one that you had to pay every month, and I just wasn't getting enough sales to justify that monthly fee, whereas Gumroad is just based on sales, and they take a percentage, and it's pretty open about their pricing and everything. But there's many platforms where you can sell e-products or physical products, eBay, Etsy, a bunch of different places. And if you have a work of art, you can list it on multiple places. Okay, section 2, pricing your sculptures. Pricing can be tricky, but here's my formula, or here's the formula that Chatgpt offered. Materials plus time plus overhead plus profit equals the base price. Check the market, look at other artists with similar styles. Don't undercharge. Your time and skill matter. Example, a stone bust cost. Oh, so this is interesting. So a stone bust, so sculpting something out of stone. $50 worth of materials plus 15 hours at $30 an hour equals $450 plus the overhead equals $500 base and 20% profit equals $600. Okay, if you're selling a stone bust and it only takes you 15 hours to do, that's incredible. Maybe they're talking about like a little tiny one, and maybe after you've had lots and lots of practice, you could get a stone sculpture in 15 hours, but man, that seems like pretty short on the time frame. That's a really cheap $600 for a stone bust. That's like absurdly cheap. So I'd say that's probably not a realistic price point. Maybe if you're just beginning, I don't know, you're just practicing in stone and you're not very good yet. But an original stone sculpture, I mean, they're usually priced a little bit higher because stone is one of a kind automatically. But maybe if this is a sculpture in clay and then you make a mold and cast it, 15 hours, you could do a decent portrait in clay for 15 hours. But usually stone, the sculpting you would do originally in clay, and then you'd use that as a reference and then put it in stone. So you already basically do the sculpture once entirely and then transfer it to stone. So it's just a much more time-consuming, difficult process. But also the finished product is so much better. A stone sculpture is hard to compete with any other material. Even bronze, I don't think, is valued as highly as stone, especially a nice piece of marble, especially. But I think the idea is basically good. Calculate, the time it's going to take, the cost of materials, all that, and make sure that you don't shortchange yourself. Otherwise, you're working for not very much. For me personally, if I'm doing a commission sculpture, my commissions start at $1,000 is what I tell people, and then they go up from there, depending on the size and the difficulty of the design, how many figures are in it, how much control the customer wants, whether it's realistic or abstract, the material that it's being sculpted in or cast in. All of that's going to, basically the price is going to go up from that $1,000 base, but I won't do anything for under $1,000. Section 3, marketing your sculptures. Great art doesn't sell itself. Marketing does. Here's how I promote my work, or here's how Chatgpt recommends you promote your work. Social media, post process videos, behind the scenes clips, and finished pieces. We talked about that already. I think it's a great suggestion. Email list, collect emails from followers and send updates about new pieces or sales. That's another great suggestion. If you don't have an email list, start building it. Storytelling, share the inspiration behind each piece. Collectors buy stories, not just art. This is something that I need to get better at. I am aware that I'm not the best storyteller and I'd like to be better. But if you can create a story behind an artwork or let people know where it failed or where the mistakes happened, and if you document the process and then share that through social media, whatever your preferred social media platforms are, that's really valuable to people. They like to see that. I'd say that that's a great suggestion. Pro tip, use video. Time-lapse sculpting videos are great for engagement. I haven't found that time-lapse videos perform super well on my own channel, but maybe that's because I don't do that primarily. Those are just kind of ones that I do every once in a while. And so I don't know if time-lapse is better than like just shooting snapshots of the process and then having, close-ups, having wide shots, and kind of a variety of different shots as you're working. I'm not sure that time lapses are inherently better, so I don't know if I would share that as my recommendation. Just my thought there. Section 4, finding collectors and getting commissions. So I do have commissions from time to time. So every once in a while, I will get people reaching out wanting me to do a specific sculpture. In fact, that's what this project right here is. This is a commissioned sculpture for a company that produces this sculpting wax, and I've had a lot of fun with it, and there's going to be an upcoming video that'll kind of be a promo for this product. It's not unheard of to have those types of commissions, especially if you built a name for yourself, but my primary source of revenue is not commissions, it's not sculpture shows, it's selling how to sculpt online. So I have my sculpting courses, which I always mention in all my videos, because that's primarily how I support my family, how I pay the mortgage. But, being an artist comes with some sacrifice. So for example, I moved from Utah to Iowa because we couldn't afford our first home. It just wasn't going to happen. But I was able to do that because I primarily work online and as a self-employed artist. And so there are some benefits to being online and being an artist where you're working from home, because you have that opportunity to maybe move to somewhere where it's a little bit less expensive. And that's exactly what I did. Now, how do you find people that want to buy your sculptures? Instagram DMs, reach out to art pages and collectors. You know, I have people reach out on Instagram. They're like, hey, you want to grow your Instagram page? Or there's like people that reach out. But I'd say if you're going to reach out to somebody on Instagram, be thoughtful. Like, avoid that generic marketing language of like, hey, I see that you're a collector, check out my page, or something like that. You might reach out to galleries that you think your work would do well in. So if there's galleries that are consistently posting, and if you reach out to them and say, hey, I love the work that I've seen on your gallery, I feel like my work would fit in well. I was wondering what the process is for applying for your gallery, and having good examples of your work. So documenting good examples, a portfolio of at least 4 or 5 pieces where you can show that you can consistently create this style of sculpture. That's really important. Ideally, you'd have 10 or 12 pieces where you can really show that it's not something you can just do once, but it's something that you can do over and over again. That's what galleries like to see, because they'd like to build up your name as an artist and then have that style associated with you. Art shows and online galleries, network and collect contacts. So art shows, I only do one sculpting show a year. It's Sculpture in the Park in Loveland, Colorado. And for me, it's been worth it every time I've done it. So I've sold at least a couple sculptures every time I've gone there. And these are abstract stone sculptures. I find it very mentally and emotionally draining being there. You know, it's 3 days at a booth and interacting with a lot of people. I'm not that much of an extrovert, so I find all the in-person interaction to be draining. But it's great. And if you can do several shows, there were some artists that were there that were very successful. If it's the right show and you have a style that people connect with, you can find success at those shows. But I've heard that that's one of the best ones in the country. So smaller shows or little shows here and there that don't really have that pull to bring big investors and big art collectors in, those are going to be more difficult to sell work, especially if it's priced higher. Commissions. Offer custom pieces, build trust with contracts. This commission, I think one of the reasons that I got it is because the company that was doing it sent me some clay, and right away I used that clay to sculpt something, and then I sent them images that they could use on their social media, because I wanted to show that I appreciated that they thought of me as a sculptor. I didn't just receive the clay and then have it sit on the shelf for a while. I took nice images. I did the hand sculpture that was like the bone study for the hand sculpting course. And so if you're doing a commission, if you're doing something, or if somebody reaches out and gives you something, a product to promote or something, like, try to offer them more than what they expected to get back. Then they'll see, oh, this is a serious person that's good to work with, that's willing to like maybe give a little bit before they expect something more in return back. And if you build enough of those good relationships where both parties benefit from that interaction, then there's a better chance that there'll be more business from that in the future, or more commissions that might follow if you can just do a good job and show that you're willing to really produce the best work that you can. Pro tip, feature reviews or testimonials to build credibility. That's a good tip, and it's something that I should do. I haven't done it a lot with my sculpting courses, and maybe what I need to do is go and reach out to people from the course that have posted their work regularly on the course over at Proco.com and ask for the testimonials, because I do think that that's a good thing, that as people share that they found value in it, then other people are more comfortable investing in something where they can see that there's already an audience that have found value in it. And the courses that I teach, it's like a 99% approval rating. Like, people seem to like the courses that I teach. So I'd say that that's a good tip that I'm probably not doing as much as I should. Conclusion. Selling art is a journey. Focus on building relationships, telling your story, and pricing confidently. That's a good suggestion. Pricing confidently. Be confident. If people feel that you're not confident in your price, that you're not valuing your own work, then why would they value it if you don't value it? So that's good. Confidently. I like how they put that in there. Got questions or want me to cover one of these topics in depth? Let me know in the comments. I think that's a great suggestion. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, all of that stuff that helps the algorithm. it's a good summary. I think that's why, Chatgpt can be such a helpful tool. The question is not, do you have the information? It's, are you doing the things? Are you doing it? Are you actually posting regularly on social media? Are you actually trying to market your work? Are you actually building an email list? Another thing that I would add that it doesn't mention here is you have to actually finish your sculptures. You have to get the sculptures to a point where it's a finished product, it's presentable, it's something that you could see in a gallery, so that means that it has a base that looks nice. That base can be made out of the same material. For this one, the base is going to be the clay. Eventually this will be cast in bronze, but the base can be part of the same material, or it can be black granite bases. There are Etsy shops that sell those. And so when you're creating sculptures, you really want to present it in a way that looks nice. This is something that's meant to be displayed, so make sure that it has the framework to be displayed in a way that looks really good. Finishing artworks is something that's very hard. It's always exciting to start something new, but it's difficult to finish something that you've been working on for a while. At least I find that to be the case. But the finishing, if you don't finish, then it's basically like you haven't done anything. If you're 90% of the way there, let's say you get the sculpture sculpted over 30 hours of work, but you don't take the extra 5 hours to make a mold and cast it in a material that you can sell it, then it basically counts for 0. So if you get 95% of the way there, counts as 0 because you don't have a finished product that you can sell. Now, maybe you can market it and you can say, hey, I want to be able to cast this, but I need to be able to purchase the mold making materials, so I'm looking for a buyer. And maybe that's a way you reach out to people on your email list and have nice documented work of the sculpture so that they can see, oh yeah, this is something that I would like to purchase a cast of. So there are ways to do it, but making sure that you finish what you start is an essential skill if you're going to find success as an artist and if you're going to make money as a sculptor. If you have any other thoughts or anything you'd like to add, please share that in the comments. That way people can see what other people have done. Thank you guys for watching. Stay creative, stay productive. Hopefully I'll see you again soon in another video.